going to be going over everything I know about Content Manager and everything I know about Assetto in general, and try and answer some questions that have been popping up really often on the server, on the Discord server. So hopefully by the end of this, you should have everything you need to make your game look as good as mine, depending on your, obviously, your hardware. Hopefully we can get it looking a lot better, and you can learn a lot from this. So to begin with, this is Content Manager. This is like your Arma 3 launcher, or your just your mod database essentially. It helps you join servers quicker. It allows you to download mods a lot easier, install mods a lot easier. It allows you to change color of the cars and make your own skins, and there's all sorts that really comes into play with Content Manager. Now I will be leaving the link to Content Manager in the description. Pretty straightforward. Scroll to the bottom of the page, download it, install it. Down here to unlock the full program, which I would recommend, as it unlocks a lot of the smaller features that kind of make the game experience a lot better. And you can donate any amount of money you want, even $1 if that's what you want to, and it will unlock the full version of the program. And the other thing, if you want to install Soul, that is your absolute fundamentals, in my opinion, for Assetto Corsa. You need both of these things installed before you do anything else. Now there are tutorials on how to install Soul, and there's also tutorials on how to install Content Manager should you not have any sort of idea about modding Assetto at all. So going back to Content Manager, this is how it looks on the home page. Now there are, it seems a little bit daunting at first, I think, because there's quite a lot going on. Like, for example, this would confuse me. Where am I looking? What am I doing? Blah blah blah. So this is your single player screen. It's on Drive at the top right, and this is where you go to do any driving. It's quite self-explanatory. You got your single player game modes, career, championships, challenges, live. I don't know what that is, I've never used it, God knows. And you're online, of course, where you find the Tayboost server. And yeah, so this is probably the best thing to have ever come to Assetto Corsa. This has answered and solved so many issues that we had modding the game for years. So it kind of breaks everything down and makes things a lot easier for someone that's just starting off with sim racing, because it really isn't that easy to begin with. Error after error after error. And when I started playing the game, there was no one sort of out there that had all the knowledge. You kind of had to work it out yourself. There were a few people obviously helping the community out, but it's been quite a niche community for a long time, and I think now we're making big steps moving forward. So great to see how far we've come. But yeah, so you have all sorts here. Obviously you have access to all of the cars there. Things are a lot easier. You can load into games a lot easier. I can't remember what the base game of Assetto's menus look like. It's been that long. You do not need that at all. This and Assetto alone is all you need. And Assetto Ultimate Edition is what, £10? I would say to everyone moving forward, just try and buy the Ultimate Edition of the game. You won't regret it. It's £9, £10, and it will allow you to get into every server, and you will never have a problem. So, also, what else? So, CSP, so Custom Shaders Patch. Now this allows all of these extra graphical settings and options, many things. You've got your weather effects, you can choose your Soul controller, you can, you can change pretty much everything. And I will leave my settings in the link to this video. This will be the only place you'll be able to find the links to my settings at this current time, because I'll probably change them before we get to tomorrow morning. So I will post them at this current point for everyone to use. You've also got your rain stuff here. Now rain, something again I'm asked about rain quite often, and rain is, you need to pay for a patron version of Custom Shaders Patch to allow the rain to work, but again it's still a work in progress. It will be fully released one day, but at the moment it's at quite a good stage. It looks great, and yeah, so you've also got another thing I'm always asked about, extra effects. So I have motion blur turned on, and also the particle effects, new smoke and dust. People ask me about my smoke, I would put that on. New flames active. If you want like blue and green flames, you can turn the debug mode on. Fireworks, you know, there's all sorts of silly things that you can add, nice touches, small touches, but half of this stuff I couldn't tell you I don't understand. Also got the new AI behavior, so these are your traffic settings, and then you need a traffic version of the map, and then you need some traffic cars, and you set up the track day just like this, and you load in. This is how you control how the AI drive, how aggressive they are, how much they overtake, that sort of thing. So there's loads and loads of things that you can do with Content Manager, make your life so much easier. Now, replays and stuff I won't go into on this video because it's a whole nother thing. It's not complicated, but it will have me rambling on for a long time, and we don't really want that. So going to content. Now if you go to miscellaneous, which you won't have unlocked as far as I'm aware without the full version, this is where you enable your external applications in inverted commas for Assetto. So anything external that works within the game that isn't part of the base game will come here. You know, you've got stereo box cam, your camera tools, this chat is already in the game, so I don't know why that's there. But you know, your soul planner, so on the go I can change the weather when I'm on single player, and on the go I can, you know, change what time of day it is. And this drone cam, obviously I use this quite a lot, but I'll disable that now because I don't need that. You've got your driver models. These are all of the driver models I have for all the cars I've downloaded. Each car may or may not come with a driver model. Got 50 cents. Bloody hell, didn't know that. Fonts for cars, and they all usually come with the cars. PP filters, that's where I make my game look nice. So these are the ones I have enabled at the moment. The thing is, one thing I want to add again, these apps, don't run too many of them at the same time. They take a lot of your frames away without you realizing. So usually I just have, and make sure they're not activated. When you enable them, make sure they're ticked as not activated. So that way, if you know, they're not taking all of your frames without your consent, really. That didn't really make much sense, but you know what I mean. Obviously my controls, just to prove my force feedback settings, or I've got gain on 90, okay, then curve effect, road effect, slip effect, ABS effect off. And you need an LUT for Logitech wheels, but it's not really that important on the Thrustmaster stuff. And so these are those settings. Chase camera, these are my settings. I don't use the first camera, I use the second camera, and these are my settings for the second camera, which seem to work for every car. And to add to that, you want to come into content, custom shaders patch, and enable chaser camera here, and use the script basic. That's what I use anyway. So that's that. And get into the cars and tracks now. So car wise, I've got 1300 mods, quite a lot. You can do a lot in here. You can unpack cars, you can replace the sounds from other cars, and it's only for you, so you're not ruining someone else's, you know, E46 M3. You're just replacing it on client side, not server side, which is great. Tires I don't really fuck with because it usually messes with cars. Go content manager showroom, and you can do quite a lot here as well. I don't know, for example, I can go paint shop and change the color of paint of the car, any color I want. And oh, I mean that. And then the wheels, I could, you know, make white. You could just mess around really, depending on how the mod's made. You know, I think with this, I can change color of all of this as well. Yeah, so make all the grille and etc. black. But yeah, overall, it allows you to do so much. You can go into lights, turn the lights on, see how they work depending on how they're made. Wheels, you can spin the wheels, see how the car looks while it's rolling to make sure that, you know, it's how you like it, and blah blah blah. Animations, if they've got animations, it's got door animations, it's got wipers. But yeah, so that's as far as the car stuff's concerned. It also allows the power graph, it shows you the power graphs, the power. You can change the colours up here. You can do anything really. This tracks, again, not too much to say about the tracks. All quite self-explanatory. What we're finding now is some cars only work on certain versions of CSP. Now, I like to use 1.73. So I like to use 1.73 because that allows all of the flames on most of the cars to just work, and they're just chucking flames out the exhaust, and it looks great. But on the newer version, it's a slightly different way to get the cars to flame, which means only some of them flame. So just a personal preference thing. It's not really too important. Music, just talk about that a little bit. So this music option means that when you're in driving the cars, if they've been set up with a screen, it can pull track information from your PC, from YouTube, from Spotify, from Windows 10 and AIMP. I don't actually know what that is, but yeah, so it can control all of that. VR I won't go into because it's a whole nother kettle of fish, but one thing I will recommend, and a lot of people do say, so these are my graphic settings at the moment. Now this gets me over 60 FPS. I would not recommend, here it's 56, but I was probably recording something with, you know, all sorts of reshade on and whatnot at that point. But I have a 2080 Ti, and these are the settings I play on. I play on 1080p. If you push this game to 2K, it really doesn't like it. So this is my best recommendation. You could tweak this stuff if you like, but I've got friends with, you know, 3080s, 3070s that struggle to run the game in 2K, because when you've got everything on at once, it's conflicting. And as far as I'm aware, it's a 32-bit game as well, so that has a lot to play in it apparently, but that doesn't mean too much to me. So moving on, where do I get my cars from, stuff like that, tracks. So first thing first, Vosan saved a lot of people. This is like your drift, this is kind of your drift center, and I quite like this actually. I might download that. But yeah, there's all sorts. They've got cars, tracks on here. This is a drift website, of course, and then you've got this Google Doc, which is the Assetto Corsa drifting Google Doc, which is really old, and it's great, to be honest. You can look, it's really well organized. Tracks, 393 tracks, they're all here. Download links are there. Yeah, again, car packs, random cars, blah blah, fantastic. Then Assetto Land, obviously we know this was taken down. If you didn't know, this has been taken down, and it's just come back up, so they're slowly adding more cars, so eventually that'll be a good place to get mods again. And then this website, I don't know how to say it, Totsugeki, but it's a Japanese website, but you can translate it. And they've got loads of cars. So if you go car mod on manufacturer, there's, you know, just go Mitsubishi. There's all sorts of cars that I hadn't seen on any other website. That's a drag car. Might add that. Yeah, might have to add that. But yeah, so you scroll down on this website, click download, it will take you to this weird website, and you click here, it'll push you to the mega download or the Google Drive, whichever one they've set it up with. Got nitrous, this car, yeah, I'm adding that. But yeah, it's just another place to get great mods. Facebook is a great place. Obviously, I'm not going to go on Facebook right now and start shuffling around, but Facebook on the Assetto Corsa mods and 4K photos group, fantastic. There's tons and tons of cars on there. So yeah, I think I've touched on quite a lot, and I'll probably call the video call it a day for this video now. But I just wanted to give everyone a rough insight to a few things that I know about this game. One thing I will add as well, I don't fully understand it yet. I will tell you about my neck effect settings, because I know I'm asked a lot about that. These were taken from somebody else, but I have tweaked them as well myself. Now, what you all asked me for is how to make the car move forwards and backwards, or what I seem to be asked quite a lot. How to move the cars forwards and backwards when you're in the car. When I accelerate, it pushes back the camera, so it kind of gives you that effect that you're traveling faster. Now that is the G-forces. It's something to do with tilt with G-force, blah blah blah, tilt with G-force, something to do with these, and it's something to do with the G-force influence down here. Now, this fast response multiplier is what controls how far forward and how far back it goes, and how much lag there is doing so on the right hand side. Now, these are the settings I've ended up with. Oh no. Okay, these are the settings I ended up with, and they kind of work best for me at the moment, but I will tweak them a little bit more moving forward. But yeah, other than that, I think we've covered everything. If you have any questions, obviously continue making your tickets on the server. We're not going to stop anyone from doing that. Just trying to keep it a lot easier for people to understand what we know, because it's not easy to get that information sometimes. This isn't the easiest of games to understand. There's so much that goes wrong and so many issues that you will come across, and sometimes it gets a bit much for us telling everyone. So that's why I've made this video, hopefully to answer everyone's questions that's had any. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I will be making a follow-up video hopefully at some point this year, just to add to this, you know, talk about VR, talk about other small programs and things that you can do to make the game experience better. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all on stream or in the future on the Discord server. Thank you very much.